Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session today. Today we will be having a webinar with TrueCommerce, and joining us from TrueCommerce today is Craig Ross, and he's going to be covering TrueCommerce Nexternal e-commerce platform. And before we get started, I just want to let you know that the session is being recorded and it will be available in our on-demand webinar library for you to review and share with anyone. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to type them into the questions box and we will get them answered during the webinar. We're going to try something new today. We're going to have an open panel, so if you have a question, if you want to chat it in the question box, or I can unmute you and then you just click unmute and then you can ask your question from there. All right, so now I will pass it on to Craig to kick off our presentation.
Great, thank you. So my name is Craig Ross. I'm on the Nexternal team here at TrueCommerce. And Nexternal is a very robust and complete e-commerce platform that does both B2B sales, which we're seeing tons and tons of opportunity in today, does B2C, as you would probably expect. And it also has Amazon Seller Central integration baked in. Before I get started, for anybody who's attending, from a B2B perspective or B2C, do you have a preference as to what we focus on today? If so, maybe raise your hand or let us know. Okay, so since I'm not seeing anything, what we'll do is we're gonna start a demo from the perspective of a customer. What does a customer who shops in the platform see? How does it work for them, etc.? And then we're going to switch gears entirely and become the merchant. How does a merchant process orders? How do they run their online business? How do they integrate into their ERP, etc.? So you'll see the platform from you'll get a full taste of the platform from the shopping experience to the management experience. So we're going to start in our first Fairway demo, which is what's on my screen now. First Fairway is not the Nexternal platform. For all practical purposes, this is your client's online store. So, or it's really their website. So, we hope somebody who comes to Nexternal, we hope that they've done a good job with their website of establishing their brand and their brand identity and their brand's promise. And they want to now make it easy for people to shop online. So that's where Nexternal comes in. So for example, somebody comes to this website and they want to buy a British open towel. Once they click on it, in this particular case, now they're brought to the Nexternal platform. So everything we're going to look at from this point forward is indeed Nexternal. But the idea of Nexternal is that it acts as an extension of the customer's website. So their branding, their brand identity, the navigation of their website, the look and feel of their website, all the design elements of their website live intact here in the store. So a customer has the experience of going to a merchant's website and they're buying from a merchant's website. We've all had the experience of going to somebody's website and then you click that you want to shop online and you're brought to something that looks like a template, or you're brought to something that's clearly a third party and it feels disjointed. And as a customer, it just doesn't feel right. You're not even sure who you're buying from at that point. So with Nexternal, your customers don't have any of that. Their customers have the experience of going to their site and buying from them. Now, from an external perspective, let's talk about what makes this so great. So one, it's completely branded, as we've now established, but two, the shopping experience is as simple as it could possibly be. So for example, as a customer, I've come here because I want to buy a British open towel. I can even see it's on sale. I click add to cart. I can see that fly right into my always on-screen shopping cart immediately. You know what, while I'm here, I need some teas as well, so let's get those. So now that I've done that, I have 2 products in my cart, and I've done that with only 2 clicks. I never have to click continue shopping. I never have to click view cart, and I never have to click recalculate if I want to buy multiples of a product. So think about the last time you bought something online yourself. Maybe it was even just a few minutes ago. Typically still, you go to the site, you click add to cart, it then makes your whole screen the shopping cart. And then you have to click continue shopping. Then depending on who you're shopping from and what platform they use, then you have to go through a whole navigation process again to find the second product you want. All those clicks go away with this technology. So it's clean, it's simple, and it's easy. And if it's easy, customers are that much more likely to complete their transaction. And this is still a big reason why people switch to the Nexternal platform. Now, the other thing I like to point out is since you have this always on screen cart, it gives you a wonderful marketing opportunity. So you as a merchant in this case. So for example, I can have dynamic cart messaging. You know, it's really common these days to have promotions or scenarios where if somebody spends enough money, they get free shipping. But here, since you always have the cart, you can dynamically nudge them. Hey, instead of just having a graphic that's free shipping $75, you can say, hey, guess what? You're only $30.01 in this case away from your free shipping. Don't you want it? Well, of course I want free shipping. And you know what? And my wife's probably going to steal my towel anyway, so I might as well get a second. So once I hit add to cart for that, now we've hit that threshold. We have our free shipping, so that message goes away. And again, I don't have to click recalculate or anything like that. The system knows it's smart enough to refresh on the fly. So it's really simple for customers having an always on screen cart, and it's really simple for merchants to nudge their customers using it to typically buy more. So that's the always on screen cart. Next thing I want to look at is a product that's maybe a little more interesting than just a towel. So I like looking at apparel. And I like this Nike Sphere Dry Polo product. Now, I like this product for a lot of reasons, but primarily it gives me a lot to talk about. In fact, some of the trade shows we go to, we actually wear these shirts, but that's a whole nother story. While we're here, you'll notice that well, even you might not notice because it's sort of hidden. Before we even talk about the product, let's talk about search engine optimization, because that's something that's of critical importance to our clients, and therefore it's of critical importance to us. Of course, if your products in your store rank well on search engines, you're going to get more traffic and therefore sell more. So the first thing to know is the URLs in the store are as clean as they can possibly be. It's simply the name of the store plus the name of the product plus an identifier, which is a protection mechanism that we can get into if you have questions about that. And that's it. Super clean URLs. Sometimes, like, you'll go to a site and like the URL, like the page URL, you'll want to, for example, copy it and paste it to somebody to send it to them. And you'll see there's all this extraneous junk in there. Google doesn't like that. Google's looking for clean, simple URLs. That's what, obviously, you can see this is as clean as can possibly be. You'll also might notice that it's an HTTPS secure URL. Google's using security on these pages, or really any page, as a ranking signal. And so all things being equal, if your pages are secure and your competitors are not, you're going to outrank them. So clean, simple URLs, always secure. The other thing to not talk about from an SEO perspective is that you can fully customize the title tags on these pages. Now, sometimes when I mention that, people are like, well, what are you talking about? I don't know what a title tag is. And yes, most people don't, because they don't really, why would they? But the title tags are what shows up in the tab on my browser of what I'm actually looking at. And the title tags are used to tell Google what these pages are about. So customers don't tend to pay a ton of attention to title tags, but Google does. And most SEO people think that the title tags are the most important, what they call on-page ranking factor. So these title tags, you can customize them any way you want. By default, it'll be the name of the product, but again, you can customize it. So then the natural question is, well, why would I customize it? What's wrong with the title tag being Nike Sphere Dry Polo? Well, Nike Sphere Dry Polo might be a good title tag, but think about if somebody was looking for this shirt on Google, they're not going to know it's called a Nike Sphere Dry Polo, but they might know that it's a Nike golf shirt worn by Tiger Woods. So you can make your title tags match what you think people would search for, and Google will show you what people are searching for. You're going to rank a lot better if you do that. So title tags can be used not to necessarily describe what the product is, but to match what somebody would type in if they were searching for this type of product. So that type of marketing is also very simple on the platform. It can have a make a big difference. Big difference. As far as the product itself is concerned.
Hey, Craig.
Yep.
On the title tag itself, what are the limitations? And whenever somebody searches for the Nike golf shirt that Tiger wears, I mean, if I put in Nike golf shirt, it'll pull that up. If I put in Tiger golf shirt, I mean, and maybe I'm getting you into the weeds, and I apologize if I am. But what are the restrictions, and how does it function?
That's a great question. And so basically, title tags you have, it depends on who you ask, but anywhere between 54 and 56 characters. So you can't just have a novel of content. You know, it's got to be pretty concise. And then beyond that, it's really, it's one of the many factors that Google uses to rank your pages. And so different SEO professionals are going to have different strategies and different ideas about the best way to do it. But what I would do is I would go to Google. Google does have search tools where you can say, like, for example, I can see what people are searching for. So if I go to Google and I search for golf shirt worn by Tiger Woods, and I can see over the past month that there's been 50,000 search queries for that, and then there's less search queries of different variations. Okay, well, that's what I want to match for. I want to match for the most, the search term that's tied to that, if you will, that gets the most searches. That's where I would start. So I'm not sure I'm 100% answering your question, but Google gives you the tools. Yeah, Google gives you tools to see what people are searching for and what variations that they're searching for that they think are basically the same thing. And so that gives you the guidance to match.
Thank you.
Yeah, great question. Other questions about SEO? And there's some other SEO stuff I'll get into, but that's at least the high level stuff. Okay, I'll take that as we're good. While we're talking about the shirt, you can have image galleries, real simple. There's no programming skills required to set this up. Basically, you're just filling in the blanks. And what I really like, even though this seems very simplistic, is let's assume I want to get it in TrueCommerce navy blue or royal blue. If I click here, of course, it shows it to me. But it also changes my attribute selection here. So when I add it to the cart, I am indeed getting royal. Now, all of you are probably thinking, well, of course it does. You picked blue. But think about the last time you searched for clothing, shop for clothing online. You probably had an experience very similar to this, but half of those stores, the gallery is not tied to the attribute selection. You know, the gallery is just used to show you different variations. So that's fine unless you're somebody like my mom who's not paying attention, and next thing you know, she's getting the wrong color because even though she picked blue here, it didn't change it where you're actually buying, and then therefore she gets the wrong thing sent to her. So even something that simple, we think about that intently because we want to make it as easy for the customer. If it's easy for the customer, they're going to buy more, and there's not going to be mistakes, which then lead to customer service issues. While we're on the topic of buying, the other thing the system supports very easily is, or let me step back. The one thing that's a big buzz phrase in the industry these days is omni-channel. And so omni-channel, the concept is that you can have one customer who can buy from you in lots of different ways. And so, for example, to start on that topic, you can have multiple ship tos on a single order in Nexternal. And that conceptually sounds very simple, but most systems can't do that because it starts getting complicated. But if I'm a customer, this is great. If I need to order these shirts for TrueCommerce, we have offices all over the country, in fact, all over the world, but we'll limit this to the country right now. I don't want to have to come to your store and place 8 different orders. I'd rather come to the store and place one order and pick which products go to Connecticut, which ones go to Pittsburgh, which ones go to Columbus, and down the line. So make it simple for me as a customer. Multiple ship tos do that. Super helpful. I mean, if anybody's doing B2B, I think they have to have this. And if you're doing B2C and you have products that are especially given as gifts around the holidays, just a tremendous tool for your customers. So that's the start of omnichannel. The second piece of omnichannel, and this is what most people think of, is, hey, I can order online and I can pick up at your store. So if you have a retail store or you allow people to pick up from you in your warehouse, or you, for example, go to trade shows, you do B2B and you order online and we'll deliver it to you at the trade show. That capability is baked right in as well. So that's the start of the omni-channel concept. Below where we add the cart, we have our social media action block. And so now we're going to go from omni-channel to social media. That's obviously another huge topic in the industry, and it has been for many years. So our social tools are, some of them are what you would expect. One of them is pretty awesome. Well, they're all awesome, but one of them is unique and awesome. So for example, in this area, tell a friend is built in. If I'm buying something for the house, I definitely want to tell my wife about it before I order it, make sure she likes it as well. That's easy. Twitter integrations here, Pinterest integrations here. You know, Pinterest has really become the wish list of the internet, if you will. So that's super important. Having said that, my favorite tool here is what we call Facebook Share and Save. And whenever I describe it, or when I mention that to somebody, I can almost feel their eyes roll, especially if I'm not looking at them, because they're thinking, Craig, everybody's got Facebook share buttons and Facebook like buttons. You know, what are you talking about? Well, we've developed a technology called Share and Save, where you can incentivize your customers to share this product. Now, share this product, and in this case, receive a $2 sharing discount. So if I'm your customer, I see that. Well, in this case, why wouldn't I share it? Because now I'm getting a discount. And that discount's also further enticing me to buy this product in the first place. So as far as I know, nobody's copied us on this yet. And it's just a tremendous tool to build tons of backlinks from Facebook right into your store. So as you can imagine, our customers love this because it's proven to be a very effective and efficient marketing tool. All they have to do is give an appropriate discount on the appropriate products. So that's social media. Turning our attention to content of the store, or really content of this particular product. Most of our clients want to have a tab display, like what we have here. Some don't want tabs, and that's fine also. If they don't want tabs, the content will stack, just like it does at Amazon. Typically, I like tabs because it's clean and simple. So for example, the description field, here's where we can put in as little or as much content as we want. Ideally, we have great content, which entices people to buy. But what I really want you to see is not that you can have content text here, but that you can do just about anything you can think of. So for example, it's really simple to embed video. So video is just an awesome, awesome tool for e-commerce. If our clients have demonstration videos, commercials, video testimonials, maybe like an installation video, depending on what they sell, or technical videos, they can embed that right in the store. So your store, depending on what you sell, not only can be a store, but can be an educational resource for your customers. And if they're there being educated, they're that much more likely to buy while they're there as well. So video, real simple, powerful, powerful tool. You can very easily have reviews in the system. Reviews do not require some sort of plugin or third-party system. It's baked right into the platform. Reviews are really powerful for two reasons. One is the obvious. Products that are well reviewed convert better. Everybody understands that. Everyone goes to Amazon and reads reviews. People get that. Where reviews are also helpful is that reviews help from a search engine perspective. So Google looks at reviews as a ranking signal, what they call a social signal. So it's a ranking factor. So all things being equal, your products have reviews and your customers don't, or not your customer, but really your competitors don't, you're going to outrank them. And so not only are these reviews here for your customers and for people to read, but these reviews are wrapped in a specific type of coding called a rich snippet, so that this review data is presented to Google in the specific format it's looking for. Now, lately, you might have gone to Google and searched for a product. You're looking to buy something, and you might have noticed the first or maybe first and second listings have stars next to them and none of the other ones do. That's this technology. So it can really, really help. So we encourage everybody to take reviews. You can also have FAQs on the product level as well in the system. Again, it doesn't need a third-party system to manage all this. It's baked right in. So you can take questions and answer them for customers. So customers love it. And it just makes it easier for them to shop. If somebody's got a question, there's a good chance somebody else does as well. But this is also great from a search engine perspective. because by your customers asking questions and you answering them, you're constantly providing fresh content on your pages, which is something Google also really likes. So FAQ is baked right in. The other thing I want to show you is express ordering. And this is really cool. This is typically more done in B2B, and we're kind of combining B2B and B2C into one overview right now. But this is a great tool for, let's take this shirt example. If I need to buy new shirts for TrueCommerce, if I need to buy one or two, we just got a new employee, we need to buy them 2 shirts. This is the type of experience I expect. But maybe it's not a new employee. Maybe we're getting new shirts for everyone in the company. We need to buy 1,000 of them. Well, in that case, I expect something like this, where I can just pick the quantities I need for the size color combinations, and then I can add them all to the cart with a single click. So what's really great about this is we are not forcing the customer into one shopping experience to the other. We're letting them pick on the product basis which one is most appropriate for what they're trying to accomplish. So no matter how somebody needs to shop from you, it's simple. And for something like express ordering, you'll even notice plus and minus buttons. So it's super friendly even on a tablet. And then the final thing to talk about while we're talking about products is if you have product content that doesn't fit neatly into one of our tabs, no problem, you can make your own. For example, we have one here for a sizing chart that we've embedded. So that type of thing is really simple. Finally, while we're here, it's really easy to cross-sell and upsell with related products. In this case, we've called them You'll Also Love. And so that capability is baked in, and we'll come back to this in a moment. 2 other things to show you quickly from a shopping perspective. If we go to Woods, of course we have products here, as you would expect, but every category in the system has a description field where merchants can put in whatever content they want. So for example, you'll see here, we're telling everybody, hey, guess what? This month, we're gonna have these new Callaway clubs in stock, and you can pre-order them now. Without this type of marketing, customers wouldn't look for this. They don't think anybody has it. They don't think it's out yet. But we are proactively pushing them or nudging them or educating them on whatever content we want. So in-store marketing like that is really simple. Everybody understands in-store marketing from the perspective of going to a grocery store, but doing it from an e-commerce perspective can have a huge impact. And most merchants they just think about products and categorizing products. But the sophisticated ones think about, okay, people are in my store, what do I want them to do next, or how do I want to push them towards? And that type of marketing is built in, and it's really simple. And then the final thing to show you from a product perspective are these Callaway golf balls. Now, a lot of time people are like, well, why are we going here? This isn't nearly as interesting as clubs or that shirt. And that's fair, but what I want you to see is that, yeah, we can buy these like everything else we've looked at, but we can also subscribe to them. And in this case, we have a couple different subscription options with different frequencies and different discounts. So if you or your clients sell products that are consumable products, food, golf balls, anything that gets consumed, printer ink, you name it, you can allow customers to subscribe and you can give them a discount for doing so. So customers typically like this because they don't have to worry about running out, and merchants love this because they can build recurring revenue streams right into their e-commerce platform. So this is baked right in. As you can imagine, our clients who do sell consumable products love it. It's very, very effective for them. So that's everything I want to show you around products. So now that we've bought some stuff, let's check out, or at least we have stuff in our cart, let's check out. And then you'll see that we have what we call the related product upsell overlay. Now it's a big mouthful for a very simple concept. Based off of what we have in the cart, the system's gonna suggest related products. And so in this case, you know, I guess we could use a pack of golf balls. These are on sale. We can buy them right from here. So what's really smart about this is it doesn't take me out of my checkout funnel. I don't have to navigate to a product detail screen. I can just add this and get on with my day. It's the e-commerce equivalent of candy in the checkout aisle at the grocery store. It can work very well. But in this case, the candy is specifically tied to what you've already purchased and it's related to it. So now that we've bought more stuff than we came here to buy originally, let's check out. And I'm going to log in as a returning customer to save me a little typing, if I can even type properly. And then once we do, the system's going to welcome us and bring me to my invoice page. Now, at this point, a couple interesting things have happened. Number one, you'll see there's these edit buttons. And you're probably thinking, well, why? They're edit buttons. Why are you even pointing that out? Well, think about, in fact, you don't have to think about this. We've all had the experience of you've been shopping online and you get to a point, much like we're at right now, where you put stuff in your car, you're going through the checkout process, and then you realize you need to add something, or you've got the wrong product, or you know what, I'm shipping it to my office, I need to ship it to my home, or make some sort of change. And you can't, you're stuck. And think about how frustrating that is. And I understand why some companies do that, because they don't want you to leave. But in fact, what they're doing is they're making you so frustrated, there's a good chance you're gonna leave. So we never do that. Your customers can always fix what they need to before they check out. So again, something that's simple, we always think about the customer experience. As we talked about, we're getting free shipping because we qualify for it, but if we didn't, or if we wanted to upgrade, you can see we have different options here as well. The system is integrated with UPS and FedEx and the Postal Service, so it allows you to quote real-time rates, as you can see, for second day and next day air. And you can do things like hybrid structures where, well, I want to do real-time rates, but if you spend enough money, then we want to do something else. You can do that very easily as well. Preferred delivery date capabilities here. So if you have the type of business that sells products that are perishable, or if you have like just-in-time inventory agreements with your B2B customers, you can allow them to pick preferred delivery dates. If you don't, this simply wouldn't be there. You get the order, you ship the order. Of course, we have our sales tax and shipping. All those calculations are built in. It remembers my credit card from last time, so that makes it really simple for me. And then finally, before we submit our order, we can even have a legal disclaimer here, which in this case, telling me I'm sorry, I'm not going to actually get this stuff. And it can even have an I agree checkbox. So if you need to have your customers agree to certain terms before you'll accept their order, that's easy enough. So now that we've gotten all that stuff, let's submit our order. And then that's it. That's the shopping experience. As a customer, I'll get an email sent to me right away, you know, an order confirmation email. Thank you for your order. This is what you bought. Click on this link to see the status of your order. So a customer will always know what's going on. So that's the shopping experience. It takes me a lot longer to talk about it than it takes for somebody to actually go and buy. Having said that, the whole idea is that they're going to your site and they're buying from you, and they have the simplest experience possible. And therefore, they're much more likely to buy and complete their transaction. So that's shopping. Now, before we move on to the back end of Nexternal, I know some of you are probably thinking, in fact, I know somebody's thinking this, hey, that's great, but you know, people, I'm not at my computer right now. What happens if I shop on my phone? And what happens when people come to my store on their phone? Well, as you can expect, lots of people will come to your store on your phones these days. So full mobile optimization is baked right into the platform. As a merchant, you don't need to do anything. This will happen automatically. So on my phone, you can see that same apparel category. We just checked out a few minutes ago. And we can look at that same Nike Sphere Dry Polo. And when we do, even though I'm on my phone and it's a small screen touch device, everything's here. My attribute selections are here, ship to or pick up, where am I shipping it, tell a friend's here, my description with embedded videos here, my sizing chart, my reviews, I mean, you name it, everything's here. So mobile optimization baked right in. The other thing I want to mention on mobile, and this is really important, I think, from a B2B perspective, is that we have what we call cart keeper technology, and what the industry is now calling the Netflix effect. And on this, I think we're still a year, maybe even 2 years ahead of a lot of the other providers in the industry, where the cart will follow you across devices. So think about, you're traveling, you're watching something on Netflix, maybe on your iPad or your phone or you name it. And then you get home, and then assuming you have Netflix on your TV, if you go back to that show, Netflix will know where you left off, even though it's a different device. This will do the same thing. So, take a B2B scenario where I might be in my stock room, I can have my phone and I'm adding stuff to the cart that I see we need to reorder. And then later in the day or later in the week, when I go to my office on my computer, then I can log in. I can see everything I built on my phone now on my computer, make whatever edits I need to, add whatever else I need to, and then submit it.
The one question I had, as you were going to your shopping cart and you had the pop-up overlay with the golf balls, where you go ahead and order those, add those to your cart before you left. And I realize you're picking the products for that. Can you pick a product that has attributes, or is that too complicated for that overlay?
That is an exceptionally sophisticated question.
Right.
So you've been paying attention. No, that's a great question. So the merchant gets to control how they want that to work. And what I mean by that is, so if I've got those products in the overlay, the question is, if it's a product with attributes that somebody can select, I can have it be an add to cart of, like, for example, the one that I think is the most common or the default option. So that's one option that the merchant has where, I don't know, take a laptop where, this laptop, you can have it in 100 different configurations, but there's only really a few that most people buy. So I can make that one the most popular configuration, the one that would just have the add to cart button. So that would be one option. The other option would be something like this shirt where, hey, everybody needs a different size and there's lots of different color choices. So in that case, there would be a select options button. And then at that point, that would take me to the default, to the product detail screen where I'd pick the specific size and color I wanted, and then it would take me back. So, the short answer is it depends on how the merchant wants it to work. But the fact that you asked that question leaves me exceptionally impressed. So well done.
Thank you.
Other questions at this point? Okay, so now let's look at the back end. And same thing as always. Any questions? Just please just shout them out. So, order management system, back end. Customers don't see this at all, but this is where the merchant runs, manages, and grows their online business. Everybody within the merchant's organization will have access to the order management system, will have their own user profile, and there's 7 different access levels, so the merchant can control who can do and see what within the system from within their organization. So let's log in, and we're going to log in as an administrator so we can do and see everything. So I can show you lots of things and talk about lots of things. Now, the one thing I really like is that when everybody logs in, they get to pick where they want to start. I like starting at my dashboard because it allows me to see at a glance what's going on. So, for example, I can see things, it's a lot of the stuff that you would expect. How am I progressing this month? How am I sales charting over time? Best products, best customers. How am I doing on Amazon? I only briefly mentioned Amazon so far. We'll get into this a little bit more. So all this stuff is here. Where I think things get even more interesting is, for example, like this US sales map. So I might think I'm a marketing genius. I send out emails, which I can do through the system. People come and buy from me, and I'm like, great, I'm going home for the day. I killed it today. I was great. Well, that might be the case until I look at this. And yes, I'm selling from my messaging, but I'm not in pretty much the entire middle of the country. Well, why is that? Why is my marketing not resonating in those places? I can see that. Without something like this, ultimately, if I poured over sales reports, I might figure out I've got a problem, but this allows me to see that problem in a fraction of a second. So I think it's great. The other thing I really like in here is my search statistics. So this allows me to see what people are searching for in the store, and are they getting matches Are they finding what they're looking for? Are they searching for products I don't sell? I might be able to see I've got demand for something that never even occurred to me to sell. So some of our clients have really great stories about just that, where, oh, I didn't think our customers would be interested in product X, but then they can see that they are because they're looking for it. So then they start selling it, and it quickly becomes one of their best products, typically. So this gives you as a merchant just a tremendous tool set, and it's built right in and it's easy. So that's the dashboard. Before we talk about orders, which is our whole real purpose of being here, the other thing I also want to point out is that with Nexternal, we have a mobile app called Dashboard Plus, which works on iOS devices. Our customers love this because they can always see what's going on in their store at a glance, even if they're nowhere near their office or computer. So, for example, I can see at the top of the screen I have 45 orders for the day. I can see my revenue associated with those. All right, so today's off to a really nice start. But the other thing I can see is that I have 43 unfilled orders in the tile, about 2/3 of the way down the screen. Well, that makes sense. 45 just came in, but 2 of them are back orders. What? I shouldn't have any back orders. What's going on? So with any of these tiles, I can click on, I can select it, and it's going to flip over, and it's going to give me more information. So I can easily see, for example, one of these back ordered orders. In this case, it's for these horrible golf shorts. I didn't think anybody was buying these, but we've clearly had a run on them, and now I'm sold out. Now I have a back order. So now I'm going to call Ashworth right now and take care of this problem. And so again, I can see this and I can deal with all this even if I'm nowhere near my office. So our clients, this is a great tool for them. The other thing this can do if our client wants is it can send them a push notification every time they get an order. So some of our clients, I'll be talking to them and I can hear their phone in the background making this cha-ching noise when they get orders. They're happy because they know they're making money. So even that capability is baked in. So that's Dashboard Plus. Moving back into the order management system right now, we're going to talk about orders. So system always puts the newest order on top. Whole point of this is that it's really going to capture just about any type of order, really any type of non-EDI order you can think of. So of course our B2B order, the order we just placed is here. If we do B2B orders, they'll be here. We'll talk about phone orders in a moment. Point of sale orders, they can all flow into here. The other thing that can flow into here are Amazon orders. So you'll see these 2 orders have this little Amazon icon. So we know those came from Amazon Seller Central, and from there they flowed into here so we can process them easily. So all type of orders, we want them in here. Now, from a processing order perspective, you have 3 different options depending on what you need to accomplish. So we're going to talk about processing an order individually at first, so you understand what the system does, and then we'll talk about your other options as well. So if I wanted to process just this order that came in for Craig Ross, I click on the order number, and this screen gives me all the information I need. How's it being paid for? Where's it going? What did this customer buy from us? The other thing I can see is that the credit card was authorized when the order was placed. So now that we're basically ready to ship the order, I want to capture the funds. And the way I do that is click on this little $ icon. It's showing me that PayFlow will now process the credit card. There's a bunch of different payment gateways that are compatible with Nexternal. They'll all effectively work the same. And when I do that, I can see that I have indeed captured the funds, so I'm all set. What's really nice about this credit card terminal, excuse me, is that it gives me other tools if I need them from a customer service perspective. If I need to void a transaction, that's easy enough. If I ever need to issue a refund, I can do so. If I need to capture new authorization, I can do so as well. And so if there is ever a customer service issue, your team has a consolidated interface to deal with it. It's not like they have to log into authorize.net or PayPal's PayFlow Pro and deal with it there. And then what the payment gateway shows is different than the e-commerce system. You don't have any of those issues. It's all tied together. So now that we've captured the funds, let's assume we're ready to ship. Now, I can generate a packing slip right out of here if I need to. I can print an invoice out of here if I need to. But what I really like is I can print my shipping labels right from here. So in this case, it showed me that UPS is available. FedEx and the Postal Service should behave the same way. And then what's going to happen is once I hit the create button, UPS is going to respond to us. And here's our shipping label. Print that out, stick it on the package, I'm effectively done. So once I do that, back in the order management system, I hit finish, and I can see my orders automatically shipped. Not only that, my line items are also marked as shipped. The tracking information is on the line item level. So if not everything ships at the same time or from the same place or to the same place, that's no problem. And at this point, the customers had a second email sent to them automatically. Hey, your order's been shipped. Here's your tracking info. Click here to see where your package is at this moment. So the customer always knows what's going on, and a merchant can process this with just a few clicks. So really clean, really simple. Now, as soon as I get done showing that, somebody invariably always either asks or is thinking, well, that's great, but I don't need to do an order right now. I need to get 50 orders out, or 100 orders, or 1,000 orders. And the UPS guy is going to be here in half an hour. I don't want to have to do all those individually. I'll never get it done in time. Even though it's simple, there's no way I can get it done in time. So yes to all of that. And so in that case, you click on the batch process button. So this is our second option, if you will. Batch processing does just what you think it would do. Allow you to do all of your shipping and all your credit card processing with 2 clicks, no matter how many orders you need to accomplish. So you can literally do tens of thousands of orders at once if necessary. So that is batch processing. Now, having said that, there's still going to be a third group of people who say, well, that's great, but I don't want to process my orders in here at all. I want to process them in my ERP. Everything's got to go through my ERP. That's how my business runs. Well, in that case, instead of processing them in Nexternal, they can get sent to your ERP via TrueCommerce Transaction Manager. Nexternal is part of TrueCommerce. TrueCommerce Transaction Manager is something that thousands upon thousands of merchants use every day. Typically, or at least they know about using it from the perspective of their EDI orders. But what will happen is Nexternal can send your orders to Transaction Manager, and the Transaction Manager is the integration gateway between Nexternal or anything really and that ERP. So you might notice, in fact, you will notice next to every order, there's a little TrueCommerce icon. So every 15 minutes, orders captured in External can get set to TrueCommerce Transaction Manager. From there, they flow into the ERP. You do your processing in your ERP. From there, the tracking information will flow back to External via Transaction Manager, and the system will then update automatically. So no matter if you want to do an order individually, in batch, or outside of External entirely, we provide all the tools that you need to do that. So that's order processing. A few other things to talk about from an order perspective. And again, I'm going really fast through all this stuff. So any questions, just fire away. But while we're here, I can easily see reports on the order section. We get questions all the time. Hey, I need reporting, and if I have to go to accounting to get it, they'll never get it to me in time. I've got a meeting in an hour and I need this information. No problem. There's a ton of reports built in on the order level. There's also reports on the product level, vendor level, affiliate level, customer level. So your salespeople and marketing people, they can get the information they need when they need it. That's no problem. The other thing that comes up often is, hey, e-commerce is obviously where all the action is, but not all of my customers do business with me this way. I still have people who call me on the phone. And right now, those orders have to get entered into an ERP manually, and there's always mistakes, and we get new, customer service people, and training them takes forever. Is there something better than that? So the answer to that is yes. So instead of taking orders that way, you can take orders right in here. And so if I call First Fairway and say, hey, I want to buy a British Open towel, customer service agent can click on the new button in the order section, and that'll bring them to the internal store. Now, what makes this so powerful is that the internal store looks very similar to the customer-facing store, even though it's got a few little tricks. And so what's great about this is if your customer service agent can go to Amazon and buy something for themselves, they know how to take a phone order. So if I call up and I say I want a British open towel, they'd click add to cart for it. And then you'll see that we even have these internal memos. So you can even build guidance into this, which would never be shown to the end customer. In this case, let's assume the customer service agent's like, no thanks, I don't need any umbrellas, I'm all set. Then when you check out, we can still leverage that overlay to have the customer service agent take a second crack, if you will, at upselling. And yeah, I guess I do need some teas, take those. And then it's very simple, you know, it's going to assume it's a phone order. It's very simple to look up previous customers. And your first name, sir, it's Craig. And then even though this is a phone order, would you like email confirmation? Yes, that'd be fantastic. And so we can submit that. So it's really simple and efficient for your team to take phone orders. And so not only is that baked in and it's simple, it knows that Craig Ross, who placed an order online, the same Craig Ross who's now has placed a phone order. So going back to that omni-channel concept, no matter how the customer needs to buy, it's the same customer. So let's take that concept one step further. And so what we hear often is, hey, Craig, that's great, but you know what? I have a requirement to take orders at like a trade show, or we have sales reps out in the field, or we have a retail store and we need to take transactions that way. It's not really a phone order. And you know, it's not somebody going to a website. Do you have a tool for us there? Yes, we do. It's called TrueCommerce Engage, and it works off of iPads. And it's a mobile point of sale, and what the industry is calling a clienteling app. So if you think about going to an Apple store, for example, and you pick out something, you don't take what you picked out to a cash register. The cash register, in effect, comes to you. This does the same thing. But what it also does is it has this clienteling tools. Now, some of you are probably, I mean, what does that even mean? It sounds like a made-up word. And I do think it's a made-up word, but what it does is it allows me to understand who I'm talking to, maybe even before I start talking to them. So for example, maybe you have a sales rep who's coming to visit me in my office. They can look up my information before they even get in here. So they can see how long have I been a customer? What's my lifetime value? How many times have I ordered? They can see what I look like. So they know they're talking to the right person. And they can see what I like to buy. So somebody can come in here, hey, Craig, you know, your favorite British open towel is on sale. How many would you like to buy today? I don't know. Let's take 10. And then this is all just really fast and efficient. And then you know, check out. And let's assume it's gonna invoice me on this one. And then that's pretty much it. Would you like an email? Sure, it's already in there. Send, and this order is done. So it's really fast and efficient. And again, it's the same Craig Ross. So we provide those tools as well. So we're going really, really fast, but no matter how you need to interact with your customers, we give you the tools to do so. The other thing I want to show you real fast is the customer section, since we've been talking about that. Now, anytime somebody places an order, automatically add to the customer list. If you want to, if it's B2B customers, you can have profiles for them in here. Where customers become really interesting, I think, is that you can have different customer types. Within reason, you can have as many as you want. Different customer types allow you to have customer segmentation, where different customers can see different products. They might have very different pricing. They might have very different payment options. They might even have a completely different shopping experience. So especially in B2B, this is critical. You know, not all B2B customers are probably seeing the same pricing and paying the same way. So you can control for that very simply. The system also has CRM tools built in. So if you need to assign owners and follow-up dates, that's notes and keep track of activities, that's all really simple. Now, the key with all of this stuff and this omni-channel concept, if you will, is that I can see no matter how the customer buys from me, it's the same profile, and I can keep track of that information. And since I can keep track of it, I can start doing some very interesting, I can do some very interesting things with that data. So for example, I've got all my customers, but maybe I want to find people who used to shop with me a lot, who have stopped for some reason, and hopefully try to entice them to come back. Well, since I have this data, I can use it. So I can click on this advanced search link, and what I'm describing is an order history search, and then I can hit next. So I can say, you know what, show me everybody who's bought at least $1,000 worth of products from me, but who have not ordered in the past year. So let's go back to September of 2018, and it's the 18th, search. So here's all my formerly good customers. So they used to spend a lot of money, but they stopped. So now that I know who they are, let's try to get them back. So I can click on the Mail Wizard button at the top, and this does what you would think it does. It allows me to send a bulk email, and I can always send an email to everybody, but I just want to limit this to my order history search, just my formerly good customers. Then it's going to show me that, you know, I've got 11 people, not everybody, so I know I've done this properly. And I can do a plain text email or HTML if I'm so inclined. And the key is that it can be personalized. So now I can put in whatever content I want. And as you can see, I have tons of personalization terms. So I can say something like, hello, first. We want you back. Ideally, you have a much more articulate marketing message than this, but you get the idea. System's going to send an individual email to each person. Hello, Danny. Hello, Daryl. Hello, John. Hello, Matt, Jose, you name it. And so this can be a very powerful tool. I can send targeted emails based off of purchase behavior or demographic information or a combination of both. So it's a very effective tool for our customers to reach out to their customers as they need to and help drive them right back to the store. So with that, I feel like I've gone a million miles an hour. There's lots of other things that I can show you, customers, products, even things like reviews, the settings section, etc. But since we only have a few minutes left, please let me, what questions do you guys have? What else do you want to see?
Thank you, Craig. Is Amazon integration included, or is that an add-on?
Yes, that's included. That's a great question. So if we go to the settings section, we've got this area for compatible software. And I scrolled past it, but it's right here. And so Amazon's already baked in. And so what you need to do is have an Amazon, what they call a Seller Central account. And then there's a button to configure it. Basically, you just need to put in your, what they call the seller ID and MWS auth token. You just pick a few rules about how you want it to work, and that's it. So it's built in, it's not extra, and those orders will flow into the order section, just like anything else.
Okay, thank you. And can I use Nexternal for clients that don't have an EDI need?
Yes, absolutely. So Transaction Manager is great. Transaction Manager is great in that it is an integration port. It's an integration gateway. And most people know it from the perspective of EDI. And that's what it's really known for in the industry, but can be used for all sorts of integrations. And so Nexternal is one of those integrations. So even if you don't do anything with EDI, yes, you can use Transaction Manager to integrate Nexternal to your ERP system. If you don't need an ERP integration at all, then you don't need even Transaction Manager. So some of our clients use Nexternal completely standalone. It can work either way. And if somebody's already using Transaction Manager for EDI, well, then it's simple because it's now leveraging the same integration pathways that already exist. But no, you do not need to use EDI to leverage Nexternal.
Okay, thank you. And approximately how long does it take to get set up?
Another great question. Typically, we like a month. And the way we derive, or the way we get to that point, is once somebody signs up with Nexternal, there's really 3 or perhaps 4 things that need to happen. And these things can all happen in parallel. So it's not like one happens and the next and the next. They all should happen at the same time. But what those things are is we like to do what we call a site sync, where we're going to make the store match your website by taking the code from your website and implementing it in Nexternal. We do that in the layout section. That typically takes us 4 weeks. While we're working on that, our clients can work on getting their products in the system. So that's the second thing. And they can work on getting their settings set up. Settings are what you would expect. Like, where do you have to collect sales tax? What credit cards you accept? How do you ship? And answering those questions. So the second thing of products and the third thing of settings, those should take much less than a month, but a month at the absolute most. And with Nexternal, you will have an onboarding specialist take you through those steps. And then the fourth thing, if you need it, is the integration into the ERP. And that can also happen while we're working on the settings and the layout and the site sync. So a month is a good frame of reference.
Okay, thank you. I believe that's all the questions that we have for you.
Great. Let me do this. Yeah. Yeah, and I would say thank you very much for letting us present. And if anybody has any follow-up questions or wants to really dive into anything in greater detail, please don't hesitate to contact me. My name again is Craig Ross, and I can be reached at craig.ross@truecommerce.com. So real simple to find me. And if you call TrueCommerce's phone number, which of course is all over our website, I'm at extension 3000. So also hopefully nice and easy to remember.
All right, well, great. Thank you, Craig, for presenting today, and to everyone on today's call, or if you are watching on demand, thank you for joining us. And I do want to mention that we do have a few more webinars coming soon. Tomorrow, September 19th, we have Equisys presenting on document and expense management designed for Business Central Cloud and on-prem. And then next Tuesday, the 25th, we have Valerie Ingersoll from Innovia Consulting, and she's going to be presenting on Lanham EDI setups. And check out our website for more of our upcoming events, and that's innovia.com/events. And I also want to mention that we have our new podcast going on. It's called the Innovia Conversation. You can find out about all the different podcast platforms to listen to on our podcast page, and that's innovia.com/podcast. So check out the selection and subscribe so you get notified on all the new episodes. And Innovia is proud to be a platinum sponsor of BCUG NAVUG Summit in Orlando, Florida this year. And those dates are October 13th through the 18th. If you haven't already registered, or if you want more information about Summit, check out our conference page on our website, and that's innovia.com/conferences. All right, again, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Craig, for the presentation, and we look forward to seeing you again soon on another Innovia webinar. Have a great day, everyone.